the quickest way to create deep connections with new people that you meet. Now, I'm somebody who really struggled socially throughout my 20s. I'm 35 years old now, but when I was in my early 20s, I was extremely antisocial. I had low levels of social confidence. I could not connect with anybody. There was no chance I could just go up and talk to a woman that I was attracted to if I didn't already know her. And even if I got into a conversation, it would become very awkward very quickly. I went from that guy to becoming an international men's dating coach, right? So what I'm gonna share with you guys in this video is concepts that I learned the hard way, but also I've spent the last 7 years coaching men to help them build their own social confidence and achieve the dating life they've always wanted. So if you're somebody who's been watching content, but your life isn't actually changing and you wanna make a transformation with this stuff, guys, the link is down below. There's an in-depth training there I put together. It goes through my whole backstory, the clients I've helped, and my coaching program, how I could help you as well. So check out that video down below. Let's talk about how to make a really deep connection fast with new people. Like, let's say you don't have that much time with somebody. How can you actually make a really deep connection? And so, in my opinion, to not drag out this video either and get to the root of what in my opinion is the most important factor, it's finding out their why. Okay, you're finding out the person's why. Now, you can't just go up to them and ask them, what's your why? So that's the end result of what we actually want to understand about the person, and we want to connect with them on that thing. But there's a process to get to that point, right? And I think that's really what I want to share with you guys is how do we get to the point where we can get them comfortable enough with us to open up and share with us their why without it being weird. Because I could open somebody and say, hey, what's up? How's your day going? And they'll say, oh, it's good. How about you? And I say, everything's good, man. I got to get going. But I was just curious, like, what's your why in life? They would be like, who are you? Do I know you? Right? So you can't just go in and ask that to them, right? However, if we can get to a place where we can understand their why and they reveal it to us because they feel comfortable enough with us, we will for sure feel a lot more connected to that person, because not that many people actually share that with people, and the people that they do share it with, it's because they already feel comfortable and close and connected to those people. And so by getting to that point, we can create this effect of having a really strong connection with somebody, right? Men or women. This is not just for dating. It can help build comfort and connection with dating, but this is also just for making friends. So before we get to that point, we need to open in a way where we're calm and relaxed, and it's not a big deal to get into a conversation with somebody. So a lot of you guys, you have really high levels of social anxiety. You're really nervous when it comes to starting interactions, but also you're not good conversationalists, right? That is a necessary skill set first. So you need to be able to start a conversation. And also where most guys go wrong is they just start asking so many questions. In order to get somebody to open up about their why and be genuine with it, and make it seem like we're not interviewing them, I think before that, you need to talk a little bit about your why. But before we even get to that point, we need to already had at least a couple minutes of conversation. So we don't want to bombard them with questions. You want to be able to carry the conversation in the beginning of the interaction. So the first couple of minutes, if we're interacting with somebody, it's going to be on you to assume the burden of the conversation. So we start an interaction, we ask them how their day's going. It's going to be on you now to talk in an enthusiastic way where you're carrying the conversation. Most men, they revert into default asking questions. How's your day going? Oh, where are you from? Oh, tell me about yourself. They don't know who you are and they don't feel comfortable around you. So it's going to be on you to disclose information first. Talk about how your day's going in an enthusiastic way. Have something to say, please. Do not go into another question. Have something to say. Now, once we've had a couple of minutes of back and forth where you have been talking at least 50% of it, if not more, at some point you can then transition into the things that you are truly passionate about. So I'll give you an example. Like, what I'm truly passionate about is social confidence, men's dating, and I guess you could just say self-development as a whole. Like, those are the things that have really transformed my life. I saw a huge difference from before ever starting that stuff versus a couple years in working really hard with that. I've coached a lot of men on that. I've built a business off of that. I really believe in it and I've gotten bought into it. So my why in life is really based around those things. And I love helping people with that. How can I talk about that in a way where I'm not talking about, hey, can I share my why with you? Before that, well, on a more surface level, I could just say like, yeah, I'm really big into self-development. That would be the first layer. I'm really big into self-development. Even a layer before that would be me talking about my day. So I could say, yeah, actually, I'm feeling great. I've woke up really rested, got up super early. Like I'm big into getting up early and just going right to the gym. So I managed to hit my wake up time, and then I got an early workout in this morning. And now I'm just feeling good. I'm feeling good. I was filming some content earlier. I just stepped out the house just to get some fresh air and some sunlight. How's your day going? Right? That's me saying, how's your day going? And they said, oh, it's going good. That's my answer. So you could see that it's already a flavorful answer. I'm enthusiastic. I come off confident, and I'm starting to talk about the things that I like. Now, if we go back and forth, at some point I would get into explaining that I coach men for a living, right? They might even ask me, oh, what do you do? Like if I said I put out content, they might ask me, well, what do you do? I would say, oh yeah, actually I coach men for a living. Mainly around self-development, confidence, mindset, dating, that kind of stuff. And they would say, oh, that's really cool. I could then even just go into a little bit of a backstory of what got me into those things. This is me, by the way, revealing my why. If you want, and some of you guys might be listening to this and you're like, well, yeah, I mean, I want to know how to connect with somebody. And it feels like you're just kind of talking about yourself, Kyle. It's like, yeah, if you want to connect with somebody, you need to be able to confidently, enthusiastically talk about yourself and what you're into. They get bought into the conversation, and then since they trust you and feel comfortable talking to you, and you're revealing information about yourself, as a result, they will start revealing information about themselves. And that's how we'll get down to their why in life. And once we know that thing, and we can appreciate that thing, and we can connect with them on that thing, that's how you create a really deep connection really fast. Okay? Most people, they take so long to get to this point though. Like most men, if you're dating a girl, it'll take them a lot of dates, or if you're making friends, it takes them a bunch of hangouts to like open up about this stuff. It doesn't need to take that long. You can jump into this shit in a matter of minutes if you wanted to. Now again, like I said earlier on in the video, if you open and then you go right into it, it's too soon. So there's a natural flow to the conversation that I'm kind of revealing to you guys about how you could do this, but essentially it would get to a point where I would say, yeah, actually I coach men, mindset, confidence, dating, self-development, that kind of stuff. Believe it or not, it was something I really struggled with growing up. I was really antisocial. My dad passed away at a young age, so I closed off from the world. When I was in my 20s, my first girl left me for another man, and that's when I started diving into these concepts, and it transformed my life. Honestly, after a couple of years, the way I saw the world, the way I interacted with people, my dating life, my confidence levels, all of that shit changed, and I just went all in on these concepts because I was like, yo, this is really what I wanted to do in life, and I built my whole business around those things, so I'm super passionate about it. If I just said that answer, and I could say that within the first maybe 2 to 3 to 5 minutes of an interaction, and I said that to somebody, they're gonna say, wow, that's so cool, or they might have questions for me, or they say, oh, that's really interesting. And at that point, since I've already revealed this information about me, I could then say, yeah, what about you though? Like, what are you into? What do you do for work, or like, what are you like really passionate about? Now get ready, they're not gonna have this crazy answer prepared, but they will start to reveal a little bit about their why. And it's gonna be on you to listen to what they're saying and then get curious. Because they're not gonna give you the deepest why. They might give you a surface level answer, but if you just listen to their answer and then you ask a deeper question around the whole thing, because you're curious, that will get them to open up on that deeper level that we're really looking for. So maybe they tell you what they're doing and you say, oh, interesting, like, what got you into that? Or is that like what you like really want to do in life? They might say yes, they might say no. If it is what they really want to do, then we go into what got them into that and what are their biggest goals around that topic that they really are striving towards. If they say no, I'm just doing this for money, but what I'm really into is this, then we go into, oh, what got you into that? And what's like where you're at with it, and what are your goals behind all that? And what's the why behind that, right? So you could get into these topics very quickly. You're not gonna do it in 10 seconds. You're not gonna do it in 1 minute, but in a matter of 2 to 3 to 5 minutes, we could start talking about these topics. And if you get to the depths that I'm talking about in these different sound bites of this video, by the time you actually connect with them on that thing, and they tell you about the thing, you say, honestly, I was not even expecting you I wasn't expecting any of that when I first said what's up to you, but John, that is, honestly, dude, I'm so glad I fucking came up to you. You're cool as fuck, bro. We should stay connected somehow. Are you on Instagram or whatever? I have a really strong connection with this guy in a matter of minutes. And if this was a woman, I wouldn't recommend going this deep in the first couple of minutes, only because if you're trying to set it up for dating, you don't need to create a really deep connection that fast. It's more about spiking attraction by teasing and flirting. And then you want to transition into a little bit of comfort and connection building. I just wouldn't go super deep that quick. For the sake of this video though, these concepts do apply to men and women. So that's how I would really try to create a deep connection fast. Most people, they stay on the surface level of the conversation. How's your day going? It's good. How about you? My weekend was all right. I'm a little tired this morning. Had some coffee. Okay, cool. Well, hey, dude, what do you do for work? Oh yeah, I do this thing. Look, they're just staying here the whole time. What I'm showing you is how to work your way down systematically to deeper and deeper levels of conversation to ultimately get their why and what their goals are around it and what got them to that place and how they envision that thing or why that thing is so important to them for the rest of their life. When you connect with people on that level, there's a stronger connection. They feel like this guy actually understands me. We sifted through the bullshit surface layers and it's rare that I have a conversation with somebody where I reveal this type of information about myself. Thus, I feel really connected to this individual. That's how you create a deep connection with somebody. Obviously, there's more nuance to it, but that's really how it's done if I were to give you guys the overview. Now, if you want to get better with your conversation skills, if you're not connecting with enough people, if you're not approaching women, if you want more social confidence and really to have the dating life you've always dreamed of, click the link down below. Stop watching YouTube. Watch the in-depth training I put together where I go over my whole journey, the clients I've helped, and more details about how I can help you accomplish your goals with social life and dating life. All right, link is down below. That's all for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.